To go up?
Yeah,
oh.
they went up.
They went up? He kick flipped up?
Frontside flipped up, kick flip up, front shot up.
What?
That frontside flip became such a fucking thing.
And it's connected to like trauma, right? Like this is the last thing I tried before I went into this surgery that changed my life.
It's a behemoth. It's the biggest Euro gap, like street spot I've ever seen in person.
To capture it on camera is fucking hard.
Take the bungee as far as you can go until there's no more concrete, and then that's the speed you need.
Like you have to get towed in. There's not a human on the planet that could push and get up that thing.
You just make sure you make it up the fucking wall.
It was even gnarlier when I went back the second time.
It's laughable when you get there and you're looking at it.
17, like on the dot.
17 feet or three junior high schoolers or whatever they are. We kind of went without a trick in mind. It was just like, let's go skate it.
I was actually trying a couple different tricks. It took me a minute to ollie it, got the ollie.
I was trying to convince him to tray flip it.
Those seemed to be like kind of coming around, and then
The amount of speed you have on the ride up, like when he would try to adjust his foot for the tray flip.
I couldn't get my feet to set up properly, like structured enough to like hit the ramp at the speed that I was going and then actually get a pop off.
It's so abrupt because you're going so fast at it that the bank feels like it's fucking 2 feet tall. Setting up your feet is the last thing you need to be worried about.
Any try, you could just be completely fucked.
I speed wobbled on one. I tried to run it out, and I went like I scorpioned up the fucking bank on one of them. It's such a good one.
I switched somewhere around, I don't know, 15, 20 tries to frontside flip.
And he got super close that day.
I really thought I was gonna land it, and then one came around and I caught it, but I was a little bit back seat and I landed on the board. And then for some reason, I took my front foot off and just touched the ground.
That first day he was pretty much pulling the bungee by himself too. And that shit will wear you out, like walking it all the way back.
And at that point, I was already kind of getting tired, and you know, hours had gone by. And
I think like even the one he landed on, I think exhaustion is a big factor for like not rolling away from that one. Then the cops came.
So they came in hot and sat us all down, gave us all tickets.
And we're like, you know, we'll come back soon. And then pretty soon after that, like we figured out his ACL was bad.
That whole time that I was trying that thing, it was torn, but we didn't know. I was hoping I could get that trick before I had to like actually go see what was up with my knee.
Very close after that, Ryan goes into surgery, and basically his skating is on pause for the next year or so.
Have you had ACL before?
No.
For a year and almost a half, I was just like obsessing about this frontside flip. It was haunting me, for real.
I'm sure when he left that first day, it was like, dude, why didn't I just roll away?
You're thinking about that shit every day. At some point, that frontside flip is like, gotta do that. You know, that's on the fucking list.
This fucking trick, dude. Fuck this spot, man.
There's some spots where you go back and you're like, it doesn't look as big as it did the first time.
This one did not get smaller. It was even gnarlier when I went back the second time. This thing's no joke.
There you go.
There's all this pressure on Ryan, you know, that he's putting on himself because he's been thinking about this trick for like 2 years. Then there's the added pressure of like Ira having to go and really do some serious kind of manipulation to the spot to make it skatable again because it had been all like repaired. And then you have the added pressure of this was during a crazy heat wave.
Even the asphalt was softer.
The asphalt was at least 120 degrees. Dude, it's not fast enough. Yeah, I brought a bunch of homies with me to like help with the bungee because I kind of understood what the process was now, and they were taking turns, 2 people at a time, like pulling the bungee back, so I actually got a lot more attempts.
Half the battle is just wrestling this gigantic slingshot.
That bungee was getting pulled like the width of 3 basketball courts, I think.
At full stretch, if they're like the homie is like, all right, you good, and they let it go, that thing's like, whew.
Take off on that one because that was money.
The hip itself, the bank you're shooting out of, is like got these lumpy parts. So you have to kind of find the exact right. You pop a little bit earlier than you think too.
And when you get to the top of the bank, it rolls over. You can't go from the actual knuckle. You have to go like a foot below it.
Which makes the spot even bigger. It's not like a perfect hip at all.
Yeah, getting out of the car, you're like, fuck, oh, we got this. And you're like, ooh, shit. Like, all right.
Everything's working against you with that spot. wasn't where it needed to be. Yeah.
Every time he wanted to get this trick, he landed on it. Like he just like couldn't ride away from it. It was just always a little off.
What? Yo.
Wow, Ryan. That's it, dude. Wow. Oh my God, needed that try.
You can only do it for so long. He skated it for a long time that day, and
Just running out of the spot, like you're going like 30 or whatever, you get flung up this thing and it doesn't work, like it just burns you out.
And, you know, the heat and the amount of temps. He gave it everything he had until he was just spent.
Gotta come back next Sunday, dude. I don't have any more tries. Unbelievable.
Dude, it was a war. Don't beat yourself up.
Like going into it, when we first showed up, you know, there's like a level of like excitement and kind of buzz, and Tim's there shooting photos, and like there's this sense of today's the day, this is the one. And then by the end of the session, because it was hours later, he's like exhausted and frustrated.
Probably the most frustrated I ever been trying to trick in the streets, for sure, because I really wanted it. Like,
And then you have to do the thing where, you know, like Ira's like, hey dude, so like next weekend, you know, like Ira's trying to like find out like, hey, when are we coming back? Like you're not walking away from it.
2 weeks after the second time, we mounted a charge, brought the crew, and we came back.
It was like an all hands on deck, like this is gonna happen today.
Third time I actually put in some prep work. I had the memory stored of like what the spot felt like and like kind of what the speed felt like, what the flick felt like. I practiced that as much as I could and as fast as I could. Oh man, damn dude, that flicked good. I could have done that one if I just like got a little sketchy with it. Okay. I don't know, I had a feeling it was gonna be that day, but I also didn't know, because like that spot's just funky.
Everything's going good. Like he's getting close, the energy's high, people are stoked. Like we, you know, you can feel it.
But then it just like at some point kind of flipped.
It was crazy because we had the bungee completely all the way back.
They're like putting all their body weight into it, and they're essentially like fully committed to this thing, and it's stretched to its max.
It was like as thin as my finger, like it was pulled as tight as it could be. Like I'm walking over to grab the main handle, and all I heard was this like,
This insane sound out of nowhere.
and the thing just fully snapped.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! All I can manage is like a blah, blah, like some weird like grunt.
I thought we like ruptured
Fuck.
Fabrizio's insides.
You know, it's like a bullet.
I was like, okay, we're going to the hospital. Like
All I'm thinking is, dude, I'm not ready to see Fabrizio's abdomen like sliced open.
we almost killed him.
Hey, grab him water. I'll look at it.
The anticipation of how bad it could be was gnarly.
Oh my God, that was so gnarly.
Somebody was like pouring water in his head. I don't know if it was annoying him or if it was helping, but like, you know, like when there's just too many people that don't know how to fucking help.
Fabrizio's, you know, smiling and kind of laughing. Like, you know, when you get like hurt and it hurt, like it hurts really bad, but it hurts bad and you're laughing about it. That's what Fabrizio's doing. Like, he's obviously, it's hurt, but he's laughing because he's okay. And like, it's so ridiculous, the scenario.
Ever punched you in the stomach, you could take a punch, dog.
Man, stop.
Don't make him laugh. Don't make him laugh, bro.
So now he's hurt and he's wet. And he got up and he was like, he kind of shook it off.
Look at that, dude, back in action.
Keep your eyes on that shit, dude.
I'm watching. Back in action. Breezy. The breeze.
We've all come down from this collective like moment of shock with Fabrizio, and we're getting back into the rhythm, and Ryan's like trying it again. And then I can't remember why, but on one attempt,
It started to separate from the handle on the other side of the bungee. And then they fucking let go of it. And then it almost killed Colin.
man,
It's not cursed, Ryan.
we were supposed to be at the safe end right now, dude.
It's not cursed. It's just showing you how much you're gonna appreciate it when you land something so crazy. That's all.
Same thing, huh?
Yeah, so we're gonna do the same thing.
This one's gonna be easier because they're still all braided.
Yeah.
We good? We on.
We like ghetto rigged the bungee back up with duct tape and like knots.
It looks like some freakish like squid. Like There's all the ropes from the bungee are out. It's just wrapped in duct tape. So sketchy.
That's good, we good.
And then he's got to like mentally kind of get himself back into the game.
I don't know, it knew I was like close and I possibly could land it that day, but it was like gonna throw everything it could at me to see if I really wanted it. You know, I think that's really what it was. Like, how much do I really want it? Am I gonna fight through all these variables that are happening?
One of those slams where you're just like, oh, this is the worst case scenario. He's fully sideways, like fully rolling the windows down.
He's out of control completely.
I'm like speed testing and it's perfect. What am I doing, dude?
You know that's gonna work.
That spot's so frustrating, dude, because you'll get a good launch. I'll be telling myself the whole way from launch to like hitting the actual ramp that like this is the one. Like all my friends are working so hard, like, and so am I, but like stop wasting everybody's time. It has to happen now.
There's no way that you're coming back next weekend. First of all, I don't know if that crew's gonna come back and help out with the bungee next weekend. Like, you got them here and they're committed, like, you gotta do it.
I have plenty of speed. I'm up there.
We were still like an hour and a half deep. Like, it was probably getting to that point where another 15 minutes and he would be where he was at the end of the second session, where it's just exhaustion is the enemy, where you're like, I just can't do this.
And then, dude, it happened. It happened. Right when I popped and it flicked and it hit my foot, and all of a sudden I turned and I was just rolling away.
He frontside flipped it so absolutely perfectly, you would never even think it was hard.
He just landed the frontside flip that took him 2 years and 3 different days and 2 near bungee assassinations and whatever else to land.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, finally, bro, it's over. And that lasted for like 3 seconds. I said that if I landed it, that I was gonna try to turn around, like push up the hill, turn around, and then try to ollie back in.
And he comes pushing back to the gap, and then he ollies.
I took off my wrist, my knuckles, my elbow, my shoulder, my whole back, slammed my head on the ground. And I'm like, and also the slam makes the clip, for sure. It's my favorite part of the clip now. For me, it's like what skateboarding represents to me. It's like it's never done.
Yo, dude.
Thank you guys, dude.
Bro, Ryan, he went to take off and I was like, he's gonna pee on his arm. So happy, dude. He finally landed. 3 days battle.
Because like I said before, like I could not have done this trick without my friends.